Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is so good to see you all. We are back from our little breaky poo. Thanks again to all of you who have been contributing and following. And we had a raid at some point too.
Yeah, I welcome thing in or Demi Deviant. Sorry, wow. I fucking my brain is dumb. My poor
No,
Brian.
it is all good. Demi Deviant, thank you for dropping a little raidy poo on us there. Apologies if we were on break when that happened, but thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you are having a wonderful evening, and also thank you to Matthew and Nelu and Cuber for all the contributions for tonight's broadcast so
Hmm.
far. We very much so appreciate it, and that is really awesome of you. Before we get back into the shenanigans at hand, I will just remind everybody that if you would like to follow each and every one of the wonderful people involved with this project, we would very much so adore and appreciate your contributions and involvement. And also, if you would like to watch previous broadcasts, you can do so on Effie the Cat's YouTube channel, and the link is right there. Also, there is the blurps are still active. Just a reminder to everybody. However, they only affect Effie. She's the only one who can hear them, as they would normally kind of interrupt the broadcast. So if you want to, dislodge Effie's focus, you can go ahead and slam blurps at her all day long. Um, but but to that effect, before we get back into it, just a little reminder also is that if you guys are like, what the fuck is the Goblin Bullshit Pool? For those of you who might not have known, Goblin Bullshit Pool is every time we get financial contributions, either in bits or donations, they count towards a grand total, and every time we hit $10 worth of those contributions, we add a point to the Goblin Bullshit Pool. So the Goblin Bullshit Pool is basically just a reroll for the players, so they can either use 1 point to reroll their roll, they have to accept the new results, and then they also have to get a Goblin Bullshit Pool result. And if they would like to, they can also use 4 points to stabilize themselves so that they don't die horribly, but also suffer the effects of the Goblin Bullshit Pool as a result of that as well. So, oh yeah, and I add a point every time I say that's some goddamn Goblin bullshit in response to goddamn Goblin bullshit. So, with all that said and done, Effie, anything you'd like to say, or shall we get ahead into the adventure once more?
No, we should be able to go.
All right, perfect. Well, in that case, everybody
Hmm.
settle in because it's time for investigation cop drama investigation 90210 Beverly Hills CSI Miami um, uh, Galarian edition. There we go. That's it. Fuck, I always forget the name of the world and I have to look at my references. All right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get back into the action, and you guys can learn what exactly has been going on. So, first, I resume the ambient effects. Boop. And. Okay, goblins. So, when we last left you all, you basically had gotten into a little bit of an accidental jailbreak situation, and the only thing that was confirmed to have been broken in the process was Titus's leg, as the jailer did not take too kindly to his attempts to escape from the jail, using you guys basically as kind of a distraction slash method of escape. So considering that you decided collectively not to follow with this plan, Snooty, you were the only one who was just literally hauled upstairs and used as a distraction in his attempts to get the hell out of here. But two things you did pick up is that Machete, as you've come to call him, also known as Vachetti, is two things. He's big and strong, and he fast. Vachetti is a very quick mover. He has an innate movement speed that is quite intimidating. So he quick going. To that effect, however, after a little bit of how do you do and yada yada, the three of you now find yourselves in the cage that you had been, or the prison cell, I should say, that you had been put in. This time, however, Vachetti has locked the three of you into it for the time being. He has.
I don't like being behind bars, Machete.
Vachetti would have told you that he understands this, but you three are very slippery, and he can't deal with this today. So for the time being, you're just gonna have to live with it. So,
Fine, then you're gonna have to listen to me sing.
Steady.
Vachetti nods and goes, "Ah, yes. I have wool from sheep for dealing with this. You are not first prisoner to try and do this.
I'm not gonna sing now because you said you're not gonna listen.
Oh, that's... Damn. Is the magnetic thing done from Gem yet?
Yes, by this point,
Oh,
we
okay,
have kind
good.
of yada-ya'd things a little bit, and Gem's magnetism and transparency has faded, and all of the effects that were affecting you all have gone away for the time being. So, as you are now left to your own devices, Titus is sitting there just nursing his, like, fucked leg, and they're waiting for somebody to come to bandage him. And so a little bit of time has passed, and you guys haven't received any updates. And Titus is, I guess he would reasonably be lying on the bed, not on the floor. And as he's just lying there nursing his broken leg and just kind of wincing in pain in the quiet, he hasn't said anything to you guys. So before anything happens, what would the three of you like to do in your little jail cell, if anything?
I would like to try and get my fingers out of his finger trap, please.
Oh, no.
Give me an intelligence roll to see if you finally managed to figure it out.
No. Oh,
No?
How do I do intelligence? I've already failed.
For,
Oh,
you know what? We'll call it a society roll for you.
Okay.
Yes. Alright, yeah, your fingers are still fast stuck in this thing.
I help if you want.
No.
Fine.
No. I can do this.
Sure. Hey, Snooty,
Yeah.
what if you just turn sideways and squeeze 2 bars?
She looks down at herself. She looks at the bars. Looks down at herself again. Looks at the bars. Looks at Desi. You could do it.
Well, yeah, but I'm not scared of bars.
But I am. So you want me to touch the bars? And be more scared and scream? I could do that. I good at screaming.
Somehow I believe you. But, okay, I go first. I show you it's safe.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn sideways and try to squeeze through the bars.
Okay. Give me a bar squeezy roll. Would, in this instance, be acrobatics for sure. But it's a pretty tight fit, so you're going to have disadvantage on it. So give me an acrobatics.
Blah.
Unfortunately, you get kind of stuck halfway through and haven't really figured out a good way to. Unless you want to call for goblin bullshit, but otherwise you are.
Goblin bullshit, go.
Oh god, alright, here we go.
Yeah.
Ah, good, even worse. And now we get to find out what the pool has in store for you. Hey, look, you're drunk again.
Yeah.
Desi, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm really good right now.
You should get back in here and lay down.
No, I'm gonna make it.
You should lay down, Desi.
No,
You don't look too good.
No, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. You just look at me go.
You're getting close. You're starting to squeeze through, but unfortunately...
Snooty pushes her through the bars.
Okay, give me an athletics to see how well that helps, Snooty. It's an awkward experience, but eventually, Desi, you manage to get squeezed right through the bars as you're using your contortive abilities to just dislocate and move, and Snooty's like, I'm tired of this shit, and just shoves you, and you're like, what, and now you're on the other side of the bars, drunk.
Oh boy. The ceiling is benign. Hang on, Smitty and Cam. Hold on, I get myself. Please. Okay,
Okay, so you did what you said you were going to do. I'm gonna go lay down now.
okay, good night.
So,
This is so difficult.
So with Gem struggling with the finger trap and Snooty, you lying down on the bed, the furthest away from the bars of the cage as you can, and Desi, you now drunkenly pushed to the other side of this container cell. You can hear the sound once more of the door being unlocked and the distant conversation going on. You can give me a perception roll, Desi, but you're at disadvantage to see if you pick up any snippets of what's going on through the door. So, yeah, you're fucking plastered, but you're like, people are talking and feel very inclined to wander towards the locked door. So you wander close to the door of the jail just as it opens up, and you can hear like the conversation, the last little bits of it. Vachetti going, "Yeah, you need to be careful. They're pretty harmless, but very slippery." And he just stops and looks down, seeing you wobbling drunk in front of him, and you can see Vachetti and Sheriff Baylor standing there looking at you, Desi.
Hello, Vachetti. I just realized and well, penis has devil. Hi.
The sheriff looks over at Vachetti, not saying anything, and Vachetti goes, "I swear, I locked them in. Vachetti does not know how this one. How did you get out of your cage?"
You know what? I'm gonna and then I'm just gonna burp real loud.
He's gonna look down at him, and the sheriff is gonna go, "I think it's drunk." And Vachetti looks over at the sheriff and goes, "I don't know how they could be. There's no booze down here, unless we didn't search them properly, in which case maybe they had some on hand. I'm truly sorry about this, Sheriff." And he walks over and just picks you up by the back of your clothes, Desi.
I'm flanking. I'm gonna stick my hands up. I'm gonna compose. Gravity will be my bitch. I'm intimidating the grounds.
As you do this, he just kind of chuckles and goes, "See, they're harmless." And walking over towards the cage, he's just kind of flying you back over.
I'm flying. Please.
Oh, it's Machete. Hi, Machete. Oh, there's Desi. Hi, Desi.
Hi, Snitty. I got lost, Snitty, but now I'm flying. I am Grand High Wizard. I'm gonna stop putting my arms out. I'm gonna stick them in front of me with my fingers held out like I'm casting a spell. And I'm gonna just go, unlimited power.
Also, thank you, Vortelsra, to the gift subbing cum hose to Effie. Very much so appreciated. So Vachetti moves forward and puts his key in the lock and opens it and just sets you gently down inside the cage, Desi. And he turns to look at the sheriff and he goes, "Do you want to start with the drunk one, or should I take a..." And he looks at Gem, who's still like, like with the finger trap, and looks at Desi, who's like, and he just looks down at Snooty and goes, You are the first one," and picks Snooty up.
Oh, wee!
No,
he-
my powers! No!
It's okay. I'm just talking to Penis Sheriff.
Okay. I'm just gonna flop back and put my head in fucking Gem's lap.
Don't forget to ask why he's a penis.
Yeah. Ask him why his head is misshapen, like.
Okay, I'll ask him when we're in the room. Bye.
Bye bye. I love you.
Why?
You guys are like barely far away from each other as Vachetti just plops you down in a chair here. And
We're doing it here. Okay.
yeah, so Vachetti looks at the sheriff and goes, "Are you sure you want to interview them in the jail cell? They'll hear each other." And the sheriff just waves and he goes, "I'd rather keep an eye on everything collectively. It's better for me in this instance to get more information, considering there are," he looks over in Titus's direction, "additional developments to the day." And Vachetti just kind of nods his head and goes, "Okay, if you need to take them somewhere where they can't hear, that's fine, but Vachetti will just stay in here for now and keep an eye on things, eh?" Alright, thank you, Vachetti. So Sheriff Baylor, who I will show everybody on the screen, what she looketh liketh, he looketh liketh, so you guys can get a true understanding of the helmet that he wears. This is Sheriff Baylor, and Baylor just kind of takes a moment to look at Snooty, and does the fingers parsed in front of his face again, just waiting for you to say something, Snooty. He hasn't said anything at the time.
I never got to introduce myself when Dentist was talking to you. I am Snooty, the chief's wife.
Of the...
And one of the most important goblins.
And you said you are the chief's wife of the Suck Frog tribe, yes?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, Snooty, what brings you to Sandpoint?
We are here to make friends and talk to you. Oh, you know what? Hold on. And she starts shining her badge a little bit and goes, "We're here to talk to Penis-Headed Sheriff." And she's trying to get her badge to work to get Wiggums.
So you're activating the badge and trying to kind of like get attention on it, and there's like a bit of another hollow tinny noise that comes through, and you hear Wiggums go, "What is it, and then there's like a bit of a panicked response, and the sheriff looks like he's got a pretty good poker face, but his one raised eyebrow is very much so like, "What the fuck is this fresh hell?" And as you hear the struggle on the other end, there's like a hushed conversation that isn't really being picked up, and he turns it around into it and goes, "Hello, Sheriff." And the sheriff just kind of looks with his other eyebrow raised and looks at you, Snooty, and goes, "What is this exactly?"
This is Wiggums. Him, and Chief are, I don't know how to explain. He talk for Chief.
Wiggums just kind of like, with a bit of a nervous voice, he goes, "Correct, yes. Wiggums, speak for Chief of Suckfrogs, and has sent these goblins to find you, mighty sheriff." And without like changing his facial expression, he goes, "And what are your goblins doing in Sandpoint?" "Oh, the Suckfrog tribe suffer many great hardships, need big, strong, powerful hero, and come help make sure Suckfrog is not have bad time. Very dangerous things threaten Suckfrog tribe. We need help And he just kind of, like, straight-faced goes, I'm pretty sure that you goblins can solve your own problems. Snooty, do you want to say anything, or are you just going to let them continue for a moment?
That's not very nice. We came all the way out here to ask for help from people's tribe. We no do nothing wrong. We do our best to be good in your home. And you mean to us. Your guards mean to us. We did no things wrong. We just need help.
The sheriff leans forward with one arm on the table and he goes, and you don't know why some of my guards and the people here might have a problem with you?
No, we good goblins.
Humor
Right,
me.
Wiggums?
Wiggums goes, yes, very good goblins. We want to be friends with people in Sandpoint, especially you, Sheriff. You a very big, important man with big, important hat. And this is sign of strength to goblins. So, you come to Suckfrog Tribe, and we tell you how to help, yes? And he just kind of sighs and leans in and goes, Snooty, was it?
Yeah, Snooty.
Thank you. Now, your particular group may not be responsible for anything of this kind, but many goblins in prior years have come to Sandpoint seeking chaos and destruction. They have razed buildings, they have killed people, and they have taken a great many things, sometimes even including people's children. Now, because of this, I don't think you're going to have very much luck in this town finding those who would be interested in volunteering their time and efforts to aid your goblin tribe in their problems. But if I find out that each of you are not involved with a series of events, which I will explain upon later once I get a full assessment of your stories, I will allow you to post a posting in the town hall saying that you are looking for adventurers to help you with a problem in your tribe.
Well, Wiggums, what does Chief have to say?
He goes, and there's like a little bit of a hushed conversation. He goes, Chief would be very Chief would want that, yes. Chief would love help at Goblin Tribe, bring people to help, and our goblins here act as ambassador to bring back to tribe. But Chief also would love to meet you in person, Sheriff. And the sheriff just sighs and he goes, I'm dealing with a few outlying problems right now of my own. I'm afraid that you are not a priority. But if those problems can be solved, perhaps I could be convinced to bring myself and the city guard to aid you in exchange for certain promises. But that is a diplomatic matter best left to the mayor. I am here to get stories straight on what has happened in the city. And as far as I am aware, Wiggums, is it? Yes. You are not in Sandpoint, correct? Correct. Wiggums is in village of goblins. So you're using some magical means to communicate across a long distance? Yes.
It's because we are most important and goblins. We get to talk this way.
Yes, these are most important goblins of the tribe. You have Snooty and Gem and Desi and Boggy, and they are most important goblins in tribe and have been assigned very important task by Chief to make sure that they find friends to help Suckfrog Tribe. Yes.
And Buggy's sad because he got scared by the guards because the guards were so mean to us. And that's why he's not here.
But Buggy's not there?
But Buggy got scared because the guards were very mean to us when they went to Dentist's house and were very mean and made Gem cry.
Wiggums goes, Sheriff, if your men or anyone in Sandpoint sees little doll that is alive and acting like goblin, and sometimes goes aga ga 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 ga. Please don't kill him. He is just scaredy pants and needs lots of hugs. Mm-hmm. And the sheriff just sighs and he goes, okay. Are you aware, Wiggums, of what any of your goblins were getting up to over the last little while in our town? Wiggums knows that goblins came to town and there was some problems, and they said there was a fire and they met some people, and it got a little messy, so they helped put out a fire, and then they went to a nice lady's home. What was her name?
Dentist.
Yeah, dentist. They went to dentist, and then that's the last I really heard up until this point. So I'm glad they found you. We need your help very badly. And he just sighs and goes, well, it sounds like you're not going to have a lot of detail for me on everything, but I may need to speak with you later in private if I can borrow one of these badges. But for the time being,
my badge.
he gives
She's
you
like holding
a
it very tightly.
he gives you like a narrow-eyed, stern look and goes, or with one of your chosen representatives. But for the time being, I will have to ask you, Wiggums, to leave these goblins be while I interrogate them. Is this understood? Yes. And he sighs and goes, Vachetti, can you confiscate their badges?
No. How are we supposed to know we most important goblins if you take our badge? We're not important anymore.
Roll me a persuasion with disadvantage, please. Or diplomacy. Damn. Sheesh. Alright. The sheriff will give a will. Vachetti is like, Sheriff, there are little trinkets they use to speak and whatnot. It's just another goblin, no? Yes. They'll tell him anyways when I give them back, and as far as... He looks over at you, Snooty, and says, now, Snooty, can these little important badges shoot lasers or make things explode or set fires or any magic other things like that?
No, it just for talk to Wiggum.
Okay, so
And
it's
to
just...
show that we are important goblins.
It's just communication device. You know, Vachetti thinks that maybe these three, they're not so sinister. Not the kind of goblins we're normally used to dealing with in our territory. There have been a few goblins that have not necessarily been so bad in the past. You know this. I think maybe these are them. The sheriff just sighs and he goes, fine. From what I've already heard from Denise, there's a lot of plausible corroboration. Words. But I'm just being thorough here. So keep your badges for now, but Wiggums, yes? Hang up. Hang up what? Stop listening. Oh, okay. And you...
Bye, Wiggums. Tell the chief I said hi.
And Wiggums goes, bye, Snooty, I'm hanging up now. And he pretends to make the noise that the badge makes when it, like, hangs up. With the little, like, so he's kind of like, and the sheriff looks at it and goes, is that the noise it normally makes when you lose the connection?
Though it might be because we are in here. And she points to the rocks and stuff, and she goes, there might be a bad reception.
Give me a deception roll, Snooty.
Uh-oh. Why do I only get good rolls on the Kickstarter?
Oh my god.
He just kind of crinkles his nose and goes, strange goblin technology. Anyways, Leaning in closer to you, Snooty, he says, "Now."
Oh, I have a question before we start.
He just raises an eyebrow.
Why does your helmet look like a penis? I don't know what that is. But everyone says a penis head.
You hear a stifled laugh from Vichetti from behind, and the sheriff doesn't break his one raised eyebrow. Like, he's staring you down like the Rock at the moment, giving you the people's eyebrow experience. And he just kind of goes, "Is that it?"
Yeah, that's my only question. I just want to know why it looked like that.
It's armor.
But why it looked like that?
It's the way it was made.
But why?
To protect my head.
Who's gonna hurt your head?
Criminals.
Why?
Fuck. The toddler interview experience continues. He sighs and says, "People who wish to do me harm would harm me if I was not wearing this. Is that satisfactory, or do you have a million more questions?"
Oh. So if someone went and hit you on the head, it won't hurt as bad.
Correct.
But they could have made it look better, but that's my question.
It didn't seem to be an issue until today.
Well, I heard a lot of people say that it does look like a penis. That includes one of the guards at the gate when we went in, and another person on the street, and a person that worked at the tavern. They all said it looked like a penis.
He kind of turns to look at the jailer, and Vichetti just, like, trying to look somewhere else. He goes, "Is this a common occurrence?" Well, yes. Vichetti, yes. And you hear, like, on the other end of the jail cells, you can also hear Titus pipe up, and he goes, "It's true, your helmet does look like a cock."
It doesn't look like a chicken.
Sorry, the ambience changed to something way more dramatically intense without my permission. So it just started to turn into, like, a very intense moment. We'll just dial it back. Gam and Desi, do you guys have any input on that front, as everyone in the room is agreeing that his head does look like a dick?
You call you dickhead, and
I'm still confused at what that is.
did you get your fingers free?
No.
Good.
Meh.
I'm gonna pull as hard as I can.
Alright, give me an athletics, please.
Oh, this is it. It's gonna happen.
you tear. You finally, you're just like, and you're gnawing at it with your teeth, and you're pulling as hard as you can, and finally it just tears apart into
Just
two
stand up and
pieces.
scream. Just
I'm gonna flop on the floor because I was hitting my head in her lap. With just a thunk.
Vichetti looks over and sees that. Oh, go ahead, Desi.
No, that was it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Vichetti looks over and goes, "Oh, damn, that was my last one. I'm going to have to go buy more."
I cannot be stopped. I am too powerful. I can break any trap. Cannot be held any longer.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's shit, you know what? That's kinda hot.
You fall asleep in Gem's lap.
On the floor. She stood up. I just am playing on the floor now.
Okay, so you pass out on the floor a bit. Vachetti just kind of laughs to himself and just points in their direction and goes, "See, pretty harmless." And Baylor just kind of nods his head and says, "My outfit change notwithstanding, are you done with your questions, Snooty?"
Oh, I already said that was my only question.
Good, then I have questions for you.
Okay.
And you are to answer truthfully, otherwise you will be in deep trouble. Is that understood?
Uh-huh.
Good. Now, I know some things have been asked of you before, but humor me when I ask you them again. 1. Why are you in Sandpoint?
We need help. We have issue at our village, and we need help.
And what is that issue?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Nope.
But your chief told you to go get help.
We listen to Chief.
Interesting.
Husband know best.
Were you responsible for the fire that consumed the Goblin Squash stables yesterday?
No.
And I guess as far as Snooty knows, you're aware that you weren't.
Yep.
I think the only person here who knows that maybe you guys were involved is Desi.
It's just Desi, and she's intoxicated.
He looks at you, and I won't have you roll a deception roll because you're not lying to him. He's looking at you and thinking a little bit further, and he goes, "All right. Why did you help Titus escape from the jail?"
I didn't.
Oh?
He had something, he opened door, and then he was there. And she points to, like, the exact location of where she saw him.
Titus is, like, lying on the bed, and he leans up and he goes, "I assure you," and the sheriff holds his hands up and he says, "No more lies from you, Titus. It's not your interrogation. Sit quietly." And Titus just kind of, And the sheriff continues, "So you're telling me that earlier, when Titus had escaped to the surface of the garrison, with you in his hands, that was entirely coincidental?"
I wanted to go places, and he said he could do that, and so he picked me up and ran.
So you're saying you didn't try to stop him?
No, I did. I had... And she pulls out her rapier. I had this thing, and she puts it on the table.
One of the guards did say that you stabbed him.
I did stab him. It was funny. I flew, and she puts her arms out. She goes, I was in the sky. Twice.
Behind the sheriff, Vachetti just, like, gives you a thumbs up, and he kind of, like, goes back to standing there looking like he's on guard duty. And the sheriff just leans in a little bit more and goes, "Interesting. How long have you been in Sandpoint?"
She holds up a single finger, and she goes, this many, I think? I'm not good at the counting.
You're telling me you've been in Sandpoint for 1 day, and you've already been involved in this much?
1 day.
I see. Interesting. He sits
We
there
get
thinking.
here, your guard took a bribe, and we were in.
Wait. You tell him one of his guards took a bribe?
Yeah, just to throw a whole bunch of his guards under the bus for being really bad people.
He looks a little more serious at you and says, "And do you know the name of the guard that took this bribe?"
No, but, he was in the front of, and she points in the direction that she thinks, the front, like the main gate is, that way, he was at the gate by himself, and he looks like, and then she kind of gives like a very vague description, like describing like the armor and stuff like that. And she goes, he looked like that, and he took 5 gold pieces from me.
So a lot of the guards wear the same outfit and look very similar in height and appearance to one another. So he automatically is like, okay, well, this isn't enough of a description. This could be like 5 or 6 different guards. So
I can tell you what time of day it was, and maybe you know from that, because that's how we know when somebody's lying about fishing.
Oh, and what time of day was it?
It was like around noon we got there, right? Basically,
Yep.
It was like
a little bit more early afternoon, but yeah.
Early, right before where you usually have lunch, like right before that.
It was a little bit after lunch.
A little after that.
So the sheriff just kind of looks a little thoughtful and says, "And are you aware of which bridge you were crossing at the time?"
It is the road, the main road, where the rusty trombone is on.
He makes a mental note of that and says, "And who did you travel here with?"
I traveled here with Gem and Desi and Boggy. And Boggy's toys. They're like big
Boggy's
doll peoples.
Toys.
They're dolls.
Describe these toys to me.
They look like peoples like you guys, but they only listen to Boggy.
Interesting. Did you come here in a cart of some kind?
Yeah, a cart that had pies in it. We found it. I'm just not lying. They really did find it on the road.
It's true, and to this statement, he looks like something has clicked. And he's looking in your direction for a minute and thinks, interesting. When you found this cart, was there an occupant?
He was laying down, and she does the motion of like what happened right at the end where he has the heart attack and dies, and she does the motion of grabbing her heart as an indication of that's how they found him.
Give me a performance to see how well you convey this idea.
Wait, goblin bullshit, go. No!
No, the curse continues!
Can I please? I'm one more time, please.
I'm afraid you cannot goblin bullshit some goblin bullshit. He still gets a roll, but before he gets his roll, we are going to reduce the pool to 15, and we are going to see what happens on the pool. You age a year.
Her hair just gets a little bit longer, and that's about it.
Yeah, as you try to mime the heart attack, your hair increases in volume and size to a strange way, and he just kind of looks down a little like, what the fuck? And as this is going on, he looks over at the jailer, and Vachetti just goes, they do weird things. I think they might be cursed. The sheriff turns around, and now I'm going to roll to see how he reacts to your
It only happens when we're
performance.
in town for some reason. It's been really bad. Somebody cursed the dust, I swear.
So he looks at you, and he's like thinking at it a little bit. Like your acting is on it is like he's thinking 3 or 4 different things, but he comes to a conclusion in his head, and he goes, "So the man had a heart attack?"
I don't know what that is, but he was like, ugh, like this type of, ugh. And she's like trying to give like an example of like probably what it sounded like.
Did anyone cause this to happen with an object or an item of some
Oh.
kind?
Well, we probably scared him because we were just walking normally on the road.
Were you?
Well, Desi had a cloak, and I was playing music, and she turns her lute around. I'm good at music.
He holds his hand out and goes, "That won't be necessary, thank you."
Oh,
So you're telling me the four of you, your absent friend Boggy included, managed to come across this gentleman in his cart, and he had a heart attack in front of you, and your decision therein was to take the cart back to Sandpoint?
yeah,
Why?
because... Toddler interrogation, go.
He sighs. Thank you, Snooty. I think I have all the information I need from you currently.
Are you sure? I know so many more things. Like, there's a lady who's like me. She has one of these and an instrument, and she's so cool. And the stew here is really yummy. And there's a ghost on the island who tried to hurt our friend Buggy and other stuff.
He stops for a minute and goes, "A ghost who tried to hurt your friend. What is that about?"
Oh, Buggy wanted to know what the ugly bird noises were, and so he went over to see, and there was a ghost.
The sheriff leans back, a little perturbed at what you just said. And he goes, "Did this ghost look a little like a wild-haired, sort of crazy-looking human?"
He looked like a big person, but blue, and he had an axe that was super sharp.
Interesting. And he turns to look over at Vachetti, and he says, "Make a note that Stute's ghost has still not been dealt with."
The guards laughed at us when we said that too.
And I'm going to
Guards
ask you
me.
a favor, Snooty.
Uh-huh.
If you find your way out of here, having not committed any crimes and are free to wander about the town, I ask that you please keep that to yourself. I don't need people in the town panicking about a long-dead crazy man.
Oh, okay. But what if someone talks about a ghost? Can I talk about it then?
You can talk about any ghost aside from the one you encountered on that island.
But, okay. What do I get for not telling peoples?
You get to stay alive. If you go back to that island and interact with that creature, I can't guarantee your safety. It's best to leave it up to those more refined in spiritual matters.
She kind of tilts her head and, like, not understanding what you mean, but she's just like, okay, I guess. I don't... The ghost really likes peoples, and they don't listen to goblins.
He leans forward towards you and he says, "Make sure you understand what I am saying, Snooty. If you go to that island, you will die."
Okay.
He sighs and gestures to Vachetti and he says, "Get me another one." And Vachetti comes walking over. And he holds out his hand, like, politely to Snooty to be like, "Do you want me to carry or will you walk back?"
She jumps into his arms. Carry me! Oh, she grabs her rapier before she goes.
Okay. The sheriff looks at you picking up your rapier and taking it with you, so Oh, hold on 1 second. Internet doing its thing. There we go. Should be back. Hopefully. Sorry about that, everybody. Sometimes my internet just very randomly, for a very, very brief moment, goes and then comes back. So, we are back. Yeah, he picks you up and carries you, and the sheriff looks like he's about to mention something about, like, maybe you shouldn't have that. And then just decides it's not worth it. So Vachetti comes back and unlocks the gate and plops you down into gently deposits you inside the prison cell.
Please don't lock the door again. Please.
Vachetti just kind of sighs and goes, When you can prove to me that you're not going to wander around and make chaos anymore, I will leave the door unlocked. For now, though, I'm going to have to relock it.
She starts crying instantly.
So Vachetti gestures to Gem and says, You, strong one, come with me.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Do you just walk over to the table, or do you have any other approach to it?
I'll walk straight up to it and sit in that chair.
Alright. Vachetti locks the door again, and he heads back over to his post, guarding once more near the doorway behind the sheriff. And as you haul up into the chair, the sheriff says, Your name is Gem, correct?
Yeah.
Gem, I'm going
Your
to ask
name is
you...
Sheriff Penis Head, right?
My name is Sheriff Baylor.
Oh, I'm supposed to talk to Sheriff Penis Head, I think.
I am Sheriff Penis Head.
Okay.
That is the penis head, Gamlet. Talk to him.
Okay. Hi.
Hello. I'm going to ask you some questions, Gem.
Okay.
Gem, what are you doing in Sandpoint?
I think I'm in a dungeon right now. Talking to you.
Fuck, oh god, here we go. He just... he clenches his teeth a little bit and goes, What brought you into the town of Sandpoint yesterday?
Oh, there's a cart. Running cart.
And do you know what happened to the man who owned that cart?
I think he's still in it.
I see. Do you happen to have had a fifth goblin with you who was badly burned or perhaps drowned?
How many's fifth?
He refocuses and goes, coughs and dies as I inhale my own spit. Oh, you made me do the angry brows so hard I swallowed my own spit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So he readjusts and says, Of all the other goblins who came with you to Sandpoint, was one of them badly burned or drowned or both?
Oh, I was set on fire earlier, and then Dennis came and helped me.
But you don't know of any other goblin that was badly burned or perhaps thrown in a river or...
There was that one time when we're having a party, a feast, and I think we wanted to see the Brian of one of them, and then another one ended up in the fire. I think.
I'm gonna roll a... How do I guess perception. So, picking through your gobbledygook of speech, he kind of goes, Are you telling me that there was a goblin you know who fell into a fire?
Yeah.
Did that goblin die?
I don't know. I wasn't paying much attention. I punched a face into a rock. And Snooty, ate
What did I do?
6 slugs.
Oh, yeah, I ate so many slugs.
I don't know how many that is, but it was a lot.
The sheriff, looking like he's kind of like starting to hit a bit of a wall already in this interrogation, just leans forward and goes, "When you came to town, did you bring this dead, burnt goblin with you?"
Oh, sorry, what was that?
He says, "When you came to town, did you bring a burnt, dead goblin with you?"
Not me. I don't think.
Did any of the other goblins bring a dead, burnt goblin with them?
You'd have to ask Buggy.
He nods and says, "So you're saying your friend Boggy is responsible for this burnt dead goblin?"
I don't know. I'm not sure how that works.
Was your friend Boggy responsible for the old man in the cart who died?
No, he kind of owned the cart, but I'm not sure what happened. We kind of just met him. He screamed a lot, I think.
He nods and says, "Gem,
Yeah.
are you responsible for the fire that claimed the Goblin Squash stables yesterday?"
There was a fire.
Fuck. God. How do I make a patience roll for the sheriff? He could have a will save. That's what he could have. Alright, he's... I like that Gem makes me have to make will saves for NPCs that speak to her for protracted lengths of time. So he takes a little bit of a deep inhale and goes, "Okay. I'm just going to ask you one last question.
Yeah.
Why did you help Titus Scarnetti attempt to escape the jail?"
I don't think I did.
At that, Vachetti pipes up and he goes, "It's true. Only the snooty one there was responsible for leaving. This one," pointing to Gem, "came up and somehow anchored to my leg, and then told me that Titus there was making a run, and everything that happened after is what I told you."
Oh, I
Sure.
thought Titus was inviting us back to his place, and I thought you might want to come with us.
Vachetti kind of laughs and goes, "Oh, did he now? Oh, Vachetti has never been to the Scarnetti Manor. I'd like to see it sometime, Titus." And Titus just kind of grimaces in the dark of his cell.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
The sheriff nods and looks at you, Gem, and says, "All right. I think I've gotten everything I think I'm going to get out of you. Thank you for your time, Gem."
Thank you, Sheriff Penis Head.
He winces a little bit at the name and just sighs and goes, "Get the next one." And Vachetti comes over to you, Gem, and offers to escort you back to the cell.
I hold my hands in the air.
He picks you up.
Yay!
And walks you back to the cell, unlocking it. It's about this point, Desi, that you can feel the effect of the alcohol wearing off.
Oh, I had enough of the bullshit, have you?
It only lasted for a small period, and you've definitely spent about a short rest's worth of time waiting out this interrogation in the cell, so it has definitely faded from you. There's a little bit of a buzz, but it's definitely going away.
Okay.
Alright, so he puts Gem down and he looks at you and he goes, "Are you still drunk?"
Where am I? What? No.
He reaches down to pick you up off the floor, holding you up in the air. And he goes... He shakes you a little bit and goes, "Are you sober?"
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, just don't do that again.
He nods and turns to look at the sheriff and says, "This one seems to be okay as well." And he walks over, holding you up in the air, locking the door behind him once more.
I feel the rattle in my brain when you did that. Ugh.
He plops you down on the chair and walks over.
Why? What, Mr. Sheriff Penis out? How you doing? I'm sorry, I just woke up.
Baylor.
Below?
I'm Sheriff Baylor. You can call me
Oh.
Sheriff.
Okay, Sheriff. What are we doing?
I'm asking you questions to make sure that I know all of your stories, and if they match, then you're free to go. But if I have reason to question each and every one of you further, I'm not going to let you out of here until we get to the bottom of it.
Doesn't seem very fair.
This is how we deal with criminals in our town.
Yeah, okay, alright, okay, ask questions.
My first question to you, Desi, is what are you doing in the village of Sandpoint?
That is a really long, answer. It's kind of a wild ride. I was, short story, we're here because, there's people that, we need help, for stuff, I don't really know why, but, Chief sent us and said we had to ask. Now that I am here and I am listening to people, I think the reason why we are here is because some people killed lots of goblins. So we are ambassadors.
He nods his head and says, "That sounds like it tracks with the problems that are going on in your village. Can you tell me what the problems that are going on in your village are?"
Desi's gonna stare at this man for a minute, and then he's gonna turn and look at Kevin Studi, and then to go back to Sheriff Baylor. And she's gonna put her hands on the desk and be like, "Well, I mean, for one, it's a goblin village, and it isn't like this cushy village. Let me tell you. Okay, listen, Mr. Sheriff. I lived in a human town until fucking damn Dimmadome betrayed me. I will hunt down and kill this man, but later."
He stops at the mention of the name. He holds a hand up and he says, "Did you say Sorry, what? I don't think that's actually his full name. What?
It's Tim Dimmadome.
Tim Timatome, right?"
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to get it correct. My brain was not processing that correctly, but he would recognize the name. He holds a hand up and says, "Did you say Tim Timatome?"
Yeah, that's the guy.
What's your association to him?
Oh, well, okay. So when I first came into town, he was really cool. Sometimes we did trading with my tribe. I am, she's gonna kind of motion to her because I mean, Desi's like 4'2". Like, tail goblins are kind of bigger, so she's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm not originally from Silk Frog tribe. We were from tribe that did trading, and Timatom, invited me back to village, and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. I want to come, and I lived there for a little bit, and I traded explosives with him and how to make things, and then that fucking bastard blew me up on the boat and left me for dead."
He kind of gets a little bit of a serious face and goes, "And were you responsible for the bombing of the Nethys Pearl?"
No, no. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, so I was working with Timatom. I was selling things to make bombs and stuff because he said was for quarry, which is where rocks come from, and mines. And so I was helping, and he said I did such a good job, I was gonna go on boat. And I was supposed to go sit and eat with the fancy people, and then the boat exploded.
Interesting. Seems your former affiliate has a bit of a obsession with detonating boats since that occurrence. You are sure you have nothing to do with a ship by the name of the Nethys Pearl?
Honestly, when I woke up, don't remember much. I almost died. Woke up on shore, and wandered around. That's how I met Snooty and Gam. Sometimes I remember things, but I don't think I blew a boat. No.
Are you familiar with the current whereabouts of your former associate?
I knew where that bastard was. I would blow him up.
He, for the first time since interacting with the sheriff, he gets like a little bit of a smirk on his face that betrays like a bit of a bemusement. And he nods his head and he says, "Well, maybe you and I, when this is all over and things haven't been quite so tense, can discuss my aid in finding him. I'm looking for this man as well."
You are?
He's the chief suspect in a bombing of a vessel known as the Nethys Pearl that happened here in the harbor outside of Sandpoint sometime prior, about 4 months ago. Everyone on board was killed as a result of it, but one survivor did implicate his name and involvement in certain deals that were happening aboard the ship. I don't believe that's pertinent information to share with you, but if you have an association with this Timatum fellow, I can't believe I'm saying that so seriously, then I am happy to work with you to see if we're able to track down any leads. So far, the trail has gone cold.
He stole my life. I was to be set up in house and have fancy things and eat good food. And do you know how many frogs I have eaten?
A fair bit, I imagine.
So many
I think
frogs. She's more of a frog sucker than most.
I am bigger than other goblins. I need to suck more frogs, okay?
She's
It's
really
not-
good at it.
I-
She's the best.
I do eat lots of frogs.
So the sheriff just nods and he says, "Very well. I'll make the rest of these questions brief, but once I am finished here, you will wait in this dungeon and not leave your cell until I return." Is that understood?
Okay. Yeah, okay. Can we get food, though?
Yes, I will make sure you're fed.
Alright, then, okay. That's good. No, also no more giving them finger chappies, please.
He looks over a little, again bemused, and says, "I'm sure we can ensure that doesn't happen." And looking back at the jailer, he just kind of shrugs and goes, "It was amusing."
No, I would have laughed too if there wasn't mosquitoes and then she was like because it's gonna hold up a hand in the other hand and then make them two clap in the middle. Like that. Almost, almost hit heads together.
He leans in and says, "How long have you known Denise Weddleblossom?"
Denise? Oh, you mean dentist?
She mentioned you might call her by that name, yes?
Yeah. No, dentist only knows for, since yesterday.
And how did you meet
This is
her?
New Day. To be honest, I did not meet her first. What happened was I was chasing Buggy, from cart, and Buggy ran up on roof, and I was trying to get Buggy, off the roof, and then, we fell, and the dentist was there, and Gem was holding dentist's hand.
I see. Why did you start the fire at the Goblin Squash stables?
Huh? I didn't start fire. I helped put out fire. That's like opposite.
How did you help extinguish the flames?
So I have smoke bombs to smother fire. And then I also, I don't have them anymore, but I make magic card deck, and then I used ice. And there was mist. I don't know where that came from, though.
The sheriff looks like he's thinking about your response.
Yeah.
And he says, "Did you see any particularly rotund dwarves while you were doing this task?"
Particularly, no, I'd never, a particularly rotund dwarf. Huh.
What does rotund mean?
It means they eat twice as many frogs as they are heavy.
He makes like a gesture around his body and he's like, rather large.
Sorry, I hate that fucking blurb. No, I did not see any dwarf.
I see. So, you didn't see anyone on the roof of the Rusty Dragon?
Just gonna scratch her head a little bit and go, I was on roof of Rusty Dragon. Like I said, I was firefighting.
He leans back, satisfied at that answer. I also love that it's incredibly convenient that Boggy isn't here to answer for his crimes during all of this.
Boggy would have been like,
Planned this.
I did
He
it.
knew it was gonna happen.
I did it. I fucking did it.
He
And I do
fucking-
it again.
It's true, you probably would be doing that.
I killed the devil.
Oh, fuck. Alright, yeah, so he... the sheriff leans back in his chair, seeming to be satisfied with that answer, as if it kind of connects some dots for him. And he nods his head and says, "Alright, I just have a few follow-ups, and then you can return to your cell, and then I will be back to provide
okay.
you with the verdict of your current situation."
Okay.
So he takes a little bit of a breath and he goes, "If I was to release you from this jail out into the town of Sandpoint, what would you do next?"
Well, I'd probably go try to find Buggy. And then after finding Buggy, I would probably go get Stu. Well, okay, no, first I'd get Gem back to dentist. Gem gets weird without dentist. Gets all cryy and stuff. And then, probably go find Guppy and then go get Stu at the pretty lady's place that I saved. She made good food and had good ale. a pint is really nice to have after traveling, after all. So that's, they were nice, so that's why I save. Uh, After that, uh, probably try to go find Tim Timbertone or do more help because Gam and Snooty are friends. We're a little undecided on what to do. Uh, we're looking for, like he said, we're doing ambassador work, but I don't really want to go back to tribe either. Because you want to know why?
Why?
Because I have had bacon. And that's just pretty good. Way better than frogs.
The sheriff seems a little bemused at this statement, and he goes, I can understand not wanting to return to the swamps and to live in squalid conditions when you have slept in a warm bed and eaten refined meals.
Yeah, it's hard to go back after you get it. It's sort of like you wake up one day and you're like, oh, oh, ah. Jessica's gonna put her hands up, making like choir of angels like motion. Bacon, ale, warm food, no murder in tribe, no dumb. Can she's gonna turn and look at Getman's duty and then be like, anyway. Yeah, and then you just then one ship blow up, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in swamp again, with the stinky and the bad food and the no bad, and is not good.
He sighs and says, I'm fully in agreement with your perspective on things, and we can cover that at a different point. But for the time being, I just need a few more answers, and then you are free to return to the sun.
Okay, whatever I can do to help.
Did you come to the town of Sandpoint in a baker's cart?
Yeah, we did.
When you left the baker's cart to enter the town of Sandpoint, were there any dead bodies inside?
He's gonna look real awkward for a minute, and she's gonna be like, well, okay, there's dead goblin. And their old man.
He nods. And,
Oh.
I need to... I should have kept this name on this note. I'm gonna get him again. One moment, everybody.
Vernon?
Vernon, yeah.
It was Vernon, yeah.
Think it was Vernon? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, it was. Yeah.
It was definitely Vernon.
I'm trying to remember
100% Vernon's. Vernon's ginger ale.
Vernon Dolfo, that's what I called him. Right. So he leans forward and he says, the owner of that cart's name was Vernon Dolfo. He was on his way to see his granddaughter in Magnamar. He had just left that day from the town of Sandpoint. And the next time we saw him, he was dead in a cart back in Sandpoint. Did you or any of the other goblins you came here with kill this man?
No, well... no, okay. So I was walking on road in cloak because I don't want to step in swamp, and walking on road is what people do. And this man drove up in car and was like, oh, little girl, do you want ride? And I was like, oh, no, I am okay, because, I didn't know if man was going to go, small goblin, smash, blah, 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 stab, stab, take all my things, plus he had horse, and that's kind of scary. So I told him, no, I am going to Grandma's house. And other goblins were like, oh, what's this? And old man got spooked by seeing dead goblin corpse. That guy's name is Crispy. It's a goblin that fell into fire. We didn't kill him. He just... Buggy told a story about shadow horses. and the goblin threw himself in fire to escape horses. Horses very scary to goblins. Uh, um,
He looks
not
at
like
you
donkeys.
as you're speaking that, and he says, "So you're saying that there's a good chance goblins would take hostile action against horses, yes?"
I mean, only if traps. Usually we run scheming.
So your common response to horses is to run away.
Yeah. We run. Usually there's lots of crying as well.
Then how were you able to use the horse that was pulling the cart to enter the town?
Okay, that is a good question. Okay, so anyway, old man got scared and did this, and Desi's gonna be like, grab her heart and fall over a little bit in her chair. And that's when he took me because he thought goblins were attacking, and I didn't want to be like, oh no. I tried to tell him, oh no, sir, I am a goblin. Please do not stab. This is my friends, and he did that, and then other goblins were like, well, shit, I guess he dead. Do we eat him? And I said, no, we do not eat him. He's not dead. And he got back up again, and then got scared again. It's just I tried to say, hello, sir, we're goblins. We are not here to do the bad. And he did again, real quick. It's not my fault. He put me in cart, and cart went, Nyum. So I couldn't get out. But, okay, so... Okay, so I know is a donkey. It's not as big, right? You know, donkey is not that bad. I was scared of horses, still am, but donkeys are okay. They're fine. They're not horses. They don't really kill goblins. Horses kill goblins by the dozens. Horses crawl around on all fours in the mud, and they blow bubbles in the water to attract goblin babies, and then they leap out of the water and step on them to death. I've never seen it, but I know it's true. So.
And he looks at you and says, so what did you do to make the horse less terrifying?
Oh, not horse, donkey. But we put ears on the donkey to make it look like a rabbit, which is not a horse, and would make the other goblins not as scared. And then we took the donkey back to town, but old man is dead. I didn't know he died until we were on our way back.
So you were returning with him for help?
Well, yeah, we're returning for help, and he said granddaughter and kind of felt bad. Other goblins don't understand, but people very partial to each other. Like, if I was back in Sook Frog tribe and I turned to Gem and I held her head under the water until her dumb little eyes rolled in the back of her head and she perspired, no one would care. They would point and laugh. I would not do this to Gem though, because she's very pretty but dumb. But humans very sentimentals to each other, so they would not do that, and it's hard to explain to other goblins sometimes. Snooty gets it because Snooty has chief husband now, so I think Snooty is understanding. I think Gem is an empty machination of absence. There is a void that looks back at you when you look at Gem. And it occasionally speaks and wants things like to hold Dennis's hand, have stew, and hold breath until pass out.
He looks at you, just letting you go on until eventually you finally stop talking. And he just kind of leans back and says, interesting perspective. So what I'm getting here is that you're telling me that your group happened upon this old man in his cart. He died of a heart attack from shock. You had problems with the donkey that was pulling the cart, therefore disguised it and returned to the town. You then offered a bribe to one of my guards to cross into town, and from that point forward you met Denise roughly around the same time the fire started in the stables.
Yeah, something like that. I tried to tell Denise I smelled fire, but I kept trying to say things, but she just assumed I was like Gem Brian and not smart. So she just was, she looked at me and went, "Oh yes, that's nice, sweetie. Let's go get you, food." Treated me like I was child.
Interesting. Amiko Kaijitsu has confirmed that all three of you were present in her establishment. She is also saying that her bathtub is missing. Would you happen to know anything about that?
Yeah, bathtub is not missing. It's misplaced.
Ah. I see.
It's at dentist's house. Other goblins got scared of fire and would not come out. So carry bathtub all the way home to dentist's house. We give back. We no steal.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Very well. You've answered my questions to the best of your ability, I imagine, and each and every one of your companions here has given me enough to think over, and Denise's story corroborates with a lot of what you have said. For the time being, I'm going to return you to the cell and speak more with your companion. Okay. I'll make sure you are fed while you are kept down here, and then I will bring you to my office to deliver the verdict on your current predicament. Is that understood?
Yeah, that sounds okay. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
He gets up and nods at you, and as he's turning around to go to the door, you just hear Titus speak up, "Goodbye, Sheriff Cockhead." And he just kind of stops for a minute, and then just continues on his way out.
Goodbye, Sheriff Baylor. I be good. We no call him Penis Head.
Yeah,
I'm confused what his name is.
It's Baylor. It's like below, but sounds fancy.
Okay, but he said his name was Sheriff Penis Head.
No, we said his name was Sheriff Penis Head.
No, he said it. I asked him.
Oh. What? Then...
We couldn't remember how to say his name, so we found out his name. Remember, Gem?
Yeah.
It's okay, Gem. You will understand when you're older.
What?
Pat. Snooty's the youngest one here.
I mean, not anymore. You aged a fucking year.
That's true. Yeah, you have to increase your age on your character sheet by one. If we play this campaign long enough, one of you will just die by curse of years.
No!
I believe it.
Just fucking sit here. Okay, Grandma Snooty, here comes the aeroplane. Please eat your gruel.
Fuck you.
So Vachetti returns you to the cage and walks back to his office. Does anyone want to do anything before he returns to his office, or are you guys just going to let him go back into his area?
Can we get out now? Can we be in the out now, please? I'd hate being in here.
Yeah, can we be in the big room?
Don't worry, my great friends. Vachetti is very sure that the sheriff has come to the conclusion that you are, well, perhaps responsible for certain things that have occurred. He generally has a bit of a way about him when he's determined somebody is a problem, and Vachetti did not feel that.
Okay. Do you want me to make you anything? I'm bored.
Make me something?
Yeah.
Make Vachetti
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want other finger chappy thing?
He looks at you for a minute, and he thinks a bit, and he goes, "How good are you at wood carving?"
Well, considering most of my bombs are a hollowed out wooden container, that yeah, yeah, I'm pretty okay.
He turns around and says, "One moment." And heading back
What?
into his little area, you can hear the sound of like rummaging and stuff. And he comes back carrying what appears to be like a relatively sharp knife and a little block of wood. And he holds it out to Desi and he goes, "Tell you what, you make Vachedi little statue of Goblin to remind of this day, and Vachedi will do something nice for you in return."
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. I am really bored.
Understandable. Do not worry. Vachedi will make sure you all get fed soon, and then hopefully you can leave.
Okay. Snooty, do you want to be the model?
I want to be the model. Yes. And you see her kind of
Yeah.
jumping, and she's like, yeah. How do model?
Well, you stand in one way, and then I make the wood. I take knife and I make the wood look like you. So I go, whatever position you want, and then I start cutting the wood.
Okay. And she stands in the most convoluted way possible.
Okay. Okay. All right. Desi's gonna sit down and start carving.
Vachedi is gonna laugh, and as he turns around, he's gonna point at Titus, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, remember, don't listen to this one. He is a lying snake. And if he knows what's good for him, he'll only have one broken leg." And Titus
He
just
said
kind of...
he worked in mill, and I heard he lived in Manor, which is even bigger house.
Oh, he does live in a big house. He lives in a very big house.
Oh, Snooty had ran across the way that Titus lied to us. He lives in fancy house.
Oh,
Hmm.
he is liar.
He lives in one of the fanciest houses in town.
I thought the lady with the instrument lived in the fanciest place in town.
Oh, you mean fuck, Amiko.
Amiko Shitsu.
Yes.
Yeah, Amiko Shitsu, she really nice.
Oh, well, she owns that house, yes, but Amiko hasn't inhabited it in a long time. Her family owned the property. She hasn't chosen it as a residence in some time. I believe, the last I heard, she was looking to sell it to someone. But, or perhaps
How much?
Oh, that is not for Vachedi to say. Certainly far beyond my salary, and I'm afraid my own money goes to other concerns.
Snooty starts going through her gold, and she's just like, big house. Chief would be happy with a big house.
Uh-huh.
I has lots of money, and she starts jiggling the bag of gold.
Yeah.
He looks at your little bag of gold and just goes, "I think to afford her home it might cost a bit much, but to be honest, I don't know how many more years Amiko will remain in Sandpoint. She did some wandering about and adventuring of her own many years ago, but these days she tries to settle down and run the Rusty Dragon as best she can, but I can tell she yearns for more some days."
She has the wanderlust.
Yes, my little green friend, that sounds accurate.
I don't know what that means, but are you done with me being a model now? My arms and legs hurt. She went back into the convoluted pose again after she was done with the bag of gold.
I make a craft roll, please.
Well, it's gonna take a while, so you can make it in a bit, but it's not an instantaneous situation.
Oh
for
no,
sure.
I just want to make I just wanted to see if I could outline the pose with the.
Sure. Give me a crafting roll to see if you can start things off well on that front. Yeah, you're getting it down. Despite Snooty's convoluted stance, you're used to goblins doing this kind of shit when you use them as references for anything you've ever made. So it's pretty par for the course of your interaction for the time being. You're just kind of like, okay, well, I'll work with this, and you're getting a pretty good base. It's going to take a bit more work to get the details, but the base is already coming through pretty good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can stop doing pose. I will ask you to do pose again, just for fine tuning. But yeah, you can do whatever you want now. Thank you.
Vachetti just kind of looks a little wistfully, and he goes, "You know, I don't think you've done anything wrong in Sandpoint, and having you here has been appreciated." He looks a little wistfully, and he goes, Vachetti has been able to feel like a father again, so thank you.
Aw, Machete. Okay, you know, that... You good man, even though you told us you'd break us in half. You know...
So, your name should be Dad Shetty, not Machete.
Oh,
His mom.
yeah. Dad Shetty, yeah. You and Dentist should get married.
Oh, yeah.
He laughs and says, "Who is a dentist?"
Dennis.
Denise.
Oh, Denise. Denise is a little young for Vachetti. She is very beautiful, but Vachetti needs, how you say, equal sparring partner.
You want somebody that is as tall. Understand, yes, okay.
Vachetti likes to, he tries to, like, think of how to put this as delicately as he can and goes, Vachetti is a very passionate man, and Vachetti is worried Denise may fold too easy.
Okay, I understand. Denise is like flour, and you want someone that is like anvil.
You make a good analogy. That's very true. Yes, my former wife was a very durable woman. We had many good times together.
I am sorry that, yeah.
It is the way of
But-
the world. If I ever see my sons again, however, I would love to introduce them to you.
That would be great. The little Versettis, sound like they would be very, 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 very muscular small children, like tiny bulls.
I hope so. I haven't seen my boys in many years.
I am sorry. I haven't seen my family in many years either.
What has happened to your family?
I don't remember. I was on boat and boat exploded and wake up and don't remember things so good now.
That's unfortunate. I hope you are able to recover your memory of the people who used to be your family. They deserve to know someone like you is still alive, but I have to admit, some days Vachetti would prefer to forget.
I think it's okay to want to forget when bad things happen. But probably never good to forget good things. Thinking on bad things just cause pain, but the good things is what's important. You have to carry them with you and let them warm you. Otherwise, everything is sad. So, you have happy memories. You save them for when sad, because if all you have is sad, then, that's not good. But, listen, you seem like very nice man. I'm sure wife very, very, very happy. So, you did very good.
She was when we were together, yes.
Yeah, you just, whenever sad, just remember happy days, okay?
Maybe someday I will have happy days again with my sons if I can ever buy them back.
I done back.
Bye.
Yes.
Is that what babies are made?
No, they, my sons are unfortunately currently the property of Carmagan slavers.
What are those?
Do not worry yourself about that. You don't need to be involved with those kinds of people. It's suffice to say, this is Vachetti's problem, and slowly but surely I am earning the fee required to buy them back.
How much? How much?
Yeah, how much?
This is gonna go into her coin.
He like holds his hands up and he's like, no, little goblins. Please, Vachetti could not take your money. You will need it here in Sandpoint. It is very
He takes
important.
a handful out of her bag and holds it out. He goes, you can't, you want to be with your son.
No. So if you start crying, I'm going to start crying.
Jesse, we need to get his sons back.
I will know.
He looks a little like he kind of, you could tell that he's, you know what, I'm gonna give him a will save to see if how he reacts in this situation. He sniffles back a single tear and he goes, you are very generous, little friends, and I understand that, but I am quite confident that the price that I am going to need to pay is far beyond the range of your modest means. They are each equal to about 200 gold, so I would require 400 gold pieces if I was to ever recover my sons.
Okay, so then, see, this, if Timatone never blew me up, I would have many monies I could help. I was selling bombs. You know how much bomb is worth?
It depends on the buyer, but I don't think that there would be a lot of popularity with the sheriff. You went around and started selling explosives to people.
No, it's for mining. Is for quarry.
Smart excuse. Tell you what, Vachetti would absolutely welcome a donation of a gold from each of you to his son's funding, if you are so open to it, yes?
Snooty holds out that handful of gold, not understanding one, and is still trying to hand him a handful.
He is going to walk over to you and see that, like, how many do you think is, like, player-wise, how many do you think is probably in your hand?
Definitely about, like, 10.
He looks down and is, like, surprised to see that a goblin is holding this much gold. And just kind of looks a little shocked and goes, "Oh, Snooty, you have quite a bit of gold on you. That's,
I have more than this.
Oh?
That's why I asked how much house was and how much to get your sons back. She starts crying at the thought of the sons again.
He looks curious now and goes, "Can I see your gold?"
Will you give the bag back?
Of course.
She puts the handful that she has before back into the bag, and she goes up to the bars and is trying her best not to touch them. putting the bag up.
He takes the bag and he sorts through it, and his eyes widen as he sees that you have like nearly 200 gold pieces in the bag. And he's just sifting through it, and is just looking.
She had taken it from the butt. Remember?
So he's sifting through it, and just like it looks wide-eyed, and he goes, "There is so much in here. And he has like a little bit of an internal struggle, and he goes, and he reaches in and he picks out 1 gold piece and puts it in his pocket and cinches the bag and hands it back to you and says, "Thank you for your contribution." No, I can't. I cannot.
She puts her hand in the bag and she throws 5 at him.
Take
them!
Fine. Vichetti will take some of your gold. Yes?
Yeah, here. I have... Yeah, here. Also take, Oh, wait, can you... Snooty and Gam, can you close your eyes for a minute?
I close my eyes?
Yeah. Gam, close eyes.
I think Gam is passed out on the floor right now.
Oh, okay, good. Here.
She covers her ears.
Desi's gonna take out the Book of Bother Daddies because she knows it's worth something.
Oh.
And she's gonna slide it to the bars to him, and she's gonna say,
"It is magic. Here, you can sell for monies. It's okay, I don't need no more."
He takes a look at the book, and technically you're right, although, others could use it, but, whatever. And he takes a look at the book and goes, what ugh. And he notices that it's kind of like partially bound in skin and has some rather unsettling elements to it, and he just kind of looks at it and goes, you know what? I think you keep it.
Okay, I don't have lots of money like Snooty.
here, and she's gonna give him 2 gold.
He takes the 2 gold and nods, thanking you. And Gam, you're just unconscious on the floor, yes?
Oh yeah, she's had a hard day of work getting through that finger trap.
Alright, fair enough. He looks down at Gam and just kind of chuckles a bit, and he says, holds up the 2 gold pieces and says, "This can be from her as well, yeah?" Pointing to Gam.
Yeah.
Throws another gold coin and then take my money.
Oh fuck! All right.
-7 gold. There we
All
go.
Right. There you go. You guys have given him a grand total of 9 gold to the Get Your Sons Back from Slavers Fund. Or at least that he's allowed you to give him.
Okay.
So he nods and
2%.
Hey, come on guys, let's raise the Hey audience, it's time for a surprise fundraiser. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, let's give it.
For every 10 bits you contribute to the channel, it's 1 gold piece to the same Machetti's Kids from the Slaver Fund.
Don't fucking in the arms of an angel. Don't fucking do
In
that.
the arms of an angel.
Hello, and thank you. Did you know for only 10 gold pieces a day, you can save this man's children from slavery? You can make a difference with your contribution. Please think of the children.
Fuck. All right. Anyways, yes. So you're telling me that if someone donates $339, 339 gold coins will pop out of thin air to help this man. I will. Yeah, sure. You know what? If someone donates $393 right now, Vichetti will have the money necessary to recover his son's tag one and corput from slavers. So there you go. Anyways, moving on. Vichetti looks at you all and goes, "Thank you. This is very important to me." And Titus, lying on the bed, he also goes, "You know, I could help free your children easily." And Vichetti turns to look at him with like a sour look on his face, and he says, "I don't want what comes with the gold you give, Titus. You keep it all up your ass until the town takes it away for all the fuck you have caused." And he begins to turn around and walk away. And as he turns back, he goes, "I look forward to seeing what you carved, Desi."
Yeah. I will make it good for you. I'm using Snooty as reference.
Good. I should like to have a little snooty for my desk.
Yeah.
So he walks out over here and helps himself out and goes back to his office, leaving you all there. And as you're left alone in the dark dungeon again once more, just the three of you and Titus just kind of goes, "Oh, well, it was a good try."
Snooty. Yeah. We'll be right with you, Mr. Titus. Snooty.
Yeah.
So, you know how Titus is apparently a very rich man? But also a very bad man? And has a fancy house? And apparently everybody is going to take his money?
We should take his money.
Yeah, we should take his money first. And then give it to
God.
Machete.
We're killing the DM. This is a live murder.
Now I need to expedite getting the manor map finished and doing a little bit of the old heistorino. Oh boy.
Amazing.
Oh boy. Alright, well, this is the way it plays out. I mean, you guys do whatever you guys want to fucking do, and I just build the world around you. So Titus is gonna roll a perception to overhear this. And you're gonna hear his voice come from the darkness, and he says, "You know, I'm sure my wife would happily give you some of our gold if you were just to pass on a message for me."
No, we want all of it.
We don't want some. We're going to take you to the cleaners.
We're gonna take everything you have and more now. 'Cause you lied to us.
But would
You
you
did.
put my own children out on the streets?
I don't even know if you have children.
I don't
I
even
do.
know. Are you sure?
Yes,
Yeah,
I have a
you-
daughter,
You
Elise.
said you can't read.
Oh, that's true.
I can remember their names. I am a father, after all.
Okay, I can name names too. Is Dentist and Machete and Grabunka. Look, I have
Oh,
people
oh.
too I can name.
I'm good at names too. Shalali Enchilada,
Oh,
Baylor Hembach,
yeah.
Amiko Shitsutsu,
Yeah.
Chief Wiggums. I'm good at names.
He sighs
Yeah.
and he says, "Look, just go to my manor, which you are planning on doing anyways, the Scarnetti Manor. My family is all living there at the moment. My wife will happily speak to you about everything that has gone on, and I'm sure she would be able to provide you with some of my finances."
Yeah, how much finances? Because, listen, we want to, we're going to get this man his kids back. And if you do have kids, I suppose it's not very fair if you leave them destitute. But I also kind of want to, maybe wife and kids are also bad. So I don't know. Maybe, what thinks Snooty? You, Chief?
Chief
Or you,
wife.
Chief Wife?
She kind of does like little shifty eyes, and she goes up to Desi's ear and just goes, I think we should take all his money and say that we are going to help him.
Yeah. Okay. We pass on message. What is message?
Alright, you're going to look for my wife at the manor. Her name is Delara.
Delora. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And just tell her that I'm thankful for my nephew.
Okay, alright, so we go find Delala and we tell her you are thankful for your nephew.
Well, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay, that's
My bad. I mixed up something there. He's gonna say, I'm thankful for my cousin.
now you're changing story again. Never can tell with you, shifty man. You sit on a bed of lies.
That is just me being an idiot not reading my notes correctly. Shush. DM fix.
Okay, alright, so you say that you're thankful for cousin. Yeah, alright.
Yes,
Melina
he's
is
gonna say, I am thankful for my cousin, is what he wants the message to be passed along for to her. And she'll know what that means, and he says, she'll know what that means, and my wife will give you appropriate compensation financially.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Alright, yeah, we agree.
Good. Thank you.
How is your leg?
In horrible pain, but it's not
Good.
the first time I've experienced something like this.
Okay, well,
Desi's gonna pull out one of her healing potions.
No. If we go do this, I sing a song and he get healed.
yeah, but I just make more.
No, don't waste potion on him. He lied to us, Desi. He threw me at a guy. He threw me. He threw me at Shetty, and then Shetty threw me back, but I asked to be thrown back. I stabbed him. I'm the reason why he got stabbed.
Snooty,
Oh,
you hear Titus speaking, and I am, from the bottom of my heart, dearly sorry for that ill-advised action. Go ahead and give me a perception roll.
Hate that my perception doesn't have a skill. Actually, wait a minute. Shouldn't perception?
That's some goblin bullshit. I'm rolling again.
You can, but before you do, what is your question, Effie?
Oh, I was gonna say, we don't have anything of insight that's tied to a skill. So if you're trying to do deception, you're gonna have a skill and a modifier. So
I just realized that there's no insight.
Yeah, I've just been using perception. I don't know what Pathfinder 2E's equivalent of insight is, so I've just been going off perception because it seems like one would perceive if somebody is lying.
Okay. No, I just noticed that, like, for instance, somebody could have +8 or more, and I think the reasonable, you'd only have like a 2 or 3 in it. But yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Perception I don't think levels up like a skill, so it'll never be as high as deception.
You are probably right, but I am not very familiar with Pathfinder 2nd Edition, so I will leave it in someone else's hands to tell me if there is an alternative that works better. for that because nothing really works for getting around deception otherwise for me, unfortunately. But for now, it's perception rolls.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to go ahead and give me a perception roll, they are welcome to. Other than Snooty, if you feel like he's being insincere.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm not gonna reroll again.
No.
I don't want to be bitten by mosquitoes.
I don't want to roll fucking mosquitoes again. I really don't.
I don't want mosquitoes or fatal attractions.
All right. So it sounds like he's very sincere about that, Snooty. That it was just a spur of the moment reaction, and you've been amongst other goblins. You know, sometimes you guys just make stupid decisions to like knee-jerk reactions. So it's understandable. You can still be pissed about it though, but at least you have a little bit of, understanding.
Oh, okay.
That's why I say I only play. You know, waste on him. Still a little upset about it.
Okay, make song angry then.
Angie song? Okay, let me think of Angie song. Let me think. Maybe one scare him.
Make it scary. Make it like warning.
A warning. Let's see. There's the terror song.
Oh, that sounds scary, yeah. Why not do terror song?
Okay. You will cry and you will moan. Goblins come into your home. Goblins hide where you can't hear. Goblins pounce and bite your ear. Goblins hide when Longshanks come. Goblins smart and you be dumb. Goblins hide where you can't see. You can't hide and you can't flee. You can scream and you can run. Goblins chase you down for fun. Goblins hide where you can't spy. Goblins snatching out your eye. Goblins creeping, goblins crawl. Goblins come when baby balls. Like crying. Goblins hide where you can't find. Upon your flesh, we goblins dine.
And that was to heal Titus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still angry, so she sang a song.
Alright, so what do you heal him with?
Let me go ahead and do this.
Wonderful.
Alright.
Which
So he
has-
would gain, I believe, 4 hit points
Yep.
as a result of that, and then has the fast healing, which is immediately done away with. So he gains a total of 4 overall from that. And
Yep.
Cool. So it's not like a full heal, but he like moves his leg a little bit and is like, oh, I mean, it's still very sore, but thank you. I very much so appreciate that.
You're welcome. And she angrily like turns her back and she's trying not to touch the fucking bars because she's really close to the bars. She doesn't like this.
I miss Denise's house, even if gave baths.
I miss too. I want new bath. I actually liked that. Look how pretty my hair is. Look how pretty.
Yeah, now that you mention
This is gonna like touch Stooty's face and kind of like poke a prod and be like,
wow, you are seeing color all over. I thought the dirt was your skin. Why you look so soft?
I don't know. Maybe it was the cleany brick.
Hair also very colorful now. Am I also?
You're very pretty.
Oh. Uh, thank you. Uh, uh, yeah, thank you. Maybe next time I'll do bath regular. Yeah. But, uh,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah. I'm going to carve now.
All right. Give me another crafting roll to see how well you finish up this as we. Oh damn! All right, shit. So Desi, you're actually pretty decent at wood carving little figures. I mean, it's not like fucking amazing, but it's almost like you have experience with miniature figures.
Oh my
Um,
Hi, Fourth Wall. Why do you suddenly have a hole in you? I gotta say, the rubble really brings the room together. God, you really opened this place up with that giant fucking hole you just smashed.
But I think now that we have come to a close on that end, I will do the last little bit of our adventure for tonight, and then we will bring an end to the evening's adventure overall. So, before things continue here, I'm just going to switch over to a new ambience, and you guys are going to be changing positions because I'm going to be giving you a little yada yada on matters before explaining where you have essentially ended up as a result of all this. So, after a little bit of time spent in the dungeon and essentially no longer being in the position of, prisoners, shall we say, you do spend a little bit of time still in Titus's company and being fed stew as they prepare everything for you. In addition, as we get to this point here, let me just go ahead and switch over the spectator cam as well so that we can go ahead and see the garrison interior. Also, just a heads up to everybody, another big thank you to Athane Photography for not only throwing together this wonderful main room of the garrison here, very faithfully compared to Paizo's original concept of the garrison, and he also took very detailed notes about certain elements of things here for the downstairs. But there's also a roof, and there is also a third floor, and there is also a second floor. So this garrison could serve many multiple purposes, should it be desired to. So if you guys want some of the maps that we've been using here, you can definitely talk to Athane as well, and I'm sure he'd be happy to set people up with map work through Dungeon Draft, because he has been doing a hell of a good time for me, and I'm sure he'd be willing to share some of these maps for Sandpoint if anybody wants them for any whatever purpose. But with that said and done, the rest of you together now find yourselves back in the office of Sheriff Baylor above ground, freed goblins for the time being from the jail around you. Due to Alice's current state, for the remainder of the adventure, Gem is currently unable to be awakened. She has exhausted herself to an irredeemable point of recovery and now needs her nappies. And woe unto anyone who decides to wake her from them. So, to that effect, oops, I don't know why I just highlighted Sheriff Baylor for some reason. There we go. Gem will be spending the remainder of tonight's adventure unconscious. So, Snooty and Desi, as you are both brought before the sheriff, and Denise now is able to connect with all of you. Before you are brought up, one little thing I wanted to cover. Desi, how do you want to handle giving the jailer his little present as you're basically leaving the jail?
Oh, okay, so we're free. I guess I would say, Sheriff, I have to give this to Machete. And Desi would show the little figurine. Is that okay if I go down there and give it to him?
We'll say that this was happening on your way up from the jail. You can
Okay.
totally just be like, hey, Machete, here's your toy.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Machete. We're going to be going off for now. But here, I got you your thing. Here's your knife back, and here is this. And she's gonna put it on his desk and just kind of be like, ta-da, there you go. Is a keepsake.
He looks down at it, and he goes, oh, this is excellent. And he's admiring the craftsmanship, and he's like, if I'm being honest, Desi, Vachetti thought he would be getting vaguely goblin-shaped block of wood, not this intricate carving. I am very happy with this. And he plops it on his desk and he goes, there. Now, if anyone breaks law, little goblin will make sure that they know they are in trouble, yes?
Yes. Yeah. That's pretty good. If you ever are looking for us, we could probably be at Denise's, and you don't worry. We're going to we're gonna go take up some work, and maybe we bring you some more money. I know you protest, but you very nice and did not break in half, so we feel like maybe it's good to help. So you have a good day. Thank you for doing good job. And here.
She's also gonna give him one of her rations.
He'll take it gracefully and say, "Oh, thank you. You remind me of the days when my children were young and things were less complicated. So I appreciate that." And he points to Snooty and he says, she did a very good image of you. Maybe this one has a fondness for your figure, huh?
What does that mean? Oh, does that mean like? Cause I also like Desi very petite and nice.
This is gonna put her head in her backpack.
The jailer boisterously, very good. Very good, you're very amusing. And the guard who's carrying Gem's sleeping body is just like, oh my god, can we please move on? And he reaches into his desk and he goes, but a promise is a promise. And he pulls out a wooden cube that has different symbols on it. And each side of the cube has 9 different squares on them. And there's a whole bunch of different symbols, but some of them seem to match. And he puts it in your hand, Desi, and he goes, I picked this one up. I have yet to figure out how to make it all match, but, a gift for a gift. And he puts it in your hand.
Oh, thank you. It's a puzzle. Oh, thank you. I like puzzles. Those are very good. That's really nice. We'll come back and say hi soon.
Please do. It gets boring down here keeping watch over this asshole, pointing into the jail, and he says, as soon as he's gone though, I can get back to doing what I am most fond of, which is... And he looks like he's about to say something, and he goes, never mind.
Yeah, that, based on the sounds of it, might be sooner than later. You have good day. And, yeah, thank you for puzzle.
He nods.
Desi's gonna wave.
Also, you have a wooden Rubik's Cube, essentially, is what has been added to your inventory.
Oh,
So-
I'm gonna keep it forever.
You might find that there is something to be found if you solve it, but whether you're able to solve it or not is an entirely different matter. But for now, please make sure to note somewhere in your character sheet that you have a wooden Rubik's Cube.
Okay. Let's go over here. How do I add new item?
So as you guys are leaving, he goes, goodbye, little green friends. I will see you around town, I am sure.
Bye, Dad Shetty.
Goodbye. Bye, Dad Shetty.
Dad Shetty, fuck. So, as you are now brought to the surface and back into the sheriff's office, I will bring... Oops, that's Titus. So let's bring the sheriff, and we can bring up Denise. So, big thank you also, real interruption here, to the awesome artwork that we've been able to use here today. Thanks to MWB Design Studios and The Art of Ash playing Snooty today. MWB previously showed up in one of the previous episodes playing Gizwit, the nerd goblin, who met an unfortunate end at Desi's electric bomb. But I'm sure we will see MWB perhaps do some guest NPC voices again in the future. But for the time being, he is one of my very awesome contributing artists who does portraiture work. So if you guys like the shit that he does for these awesome tokens, please make sure to give him some love. And also for the same vibe for my wonderful artist who has done this overlay and all of these sick-ass fucking reactives. We have the Art of Ash, so make sure you give her some love and some adoration as well. I very much
Trying
so
to make me
appreciate it.
fucking blush. What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
Get shouted out, you talented idiot.
Damn, get
I don't
fucking
want to cry. It's
told.
fucking 7 in the morning and you're making me cry. What the fuck is
That's
this?
right. Cry.
Haha. I was going to make an inappropriate comment, but that would not be well received. So, moving onwards. You are now find yourselves within this... Ow, my ass. Sorry, you don't find yourselves in my ass. I moved in my chair and I've been sitting at an awkward angle.
You know?
Let's try this again. You are you find yourselves within the office of the sheriff, and he takes a little bit of time to kind of size you all up. And Denise is asking like, how was jail? Like, are you guys okay? And like, why is Gem unconscious? Does anyone want to explain to her why Gem is unconscious?
Gem got really tired. We were
Yeah.
waiting in there for a long time.
Yeah, it was a very long time. She used too much of her brain powers and then got really sleepy.
Yeah, her Brian is not as big as Desi's Brian.
No, not even close.
And so she got real tired.
She laughs, and the guard is like, where am I going to drop this goblin? And Denise takes her and basically carries her like in a cradle, kind of like just holding her.
Baby
in her-
hold.
Yeah, basically like a baby hold, volunteering to be the one to carry Gem for the time being as she just naps peacefully in her arms. So with the rest of you now in the office, the sheriff kind of looks you all up and down, doing his usual like very quiet contemplation before speaking. And he goes, right. Well, as far as I'm aware, the three of you and Denise, I'm sorry for the third degree, but I have to be thorough. And she just nods a little bit, and he goes, the things you get involved with have always never been your fault, and I'm pretty sure there does not exist a sinister bone in your body. I can't speak for goblins on that front, but as far as I'm aware, the three of you have more or less accidentally come upon any misfortunes that were either indirectly or more directly related to your actions. Therefore, I cannot hold you accountable for happenstance, as strange a tale as this paints already. However, I am still going to be looking for your little friend Boggy, as I believe he has more pieces to this puzzle. For the time being, however, due to the fact that the cart was never yours to begin with, I have impounded Mr. fucking last name pending. 1 second. Where is it? Shit, where'd I copy paste it? Donut Man. Why did I... Oh, yes, Dolfo. I have confiscated Mr. Dolfo's cart to be handled by his granddaughter when she is able to make the journey over from Magnamar. And his corpse will be interred here at our cemetery in the boneyard behind the cathedral, as he has always stated was his preference in his will here in the town documentation. As for your goblin companion, who was rather badly burnt and covered in some kind of... Goddammit, internet. Hold on.
You cut
Pending. Yeah. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. My internet just randomly goes... just kind of edges me a bit, and it's really unpleasant. The sheriff leans forward and he goes, as for your goblin companion who was found in the cart, I am not sure what you would like done with him. Are there proper burial rites to your people, or...
You can just wrap him up in a blanket, and when we find Buggy will know what to do.
Yeah, it's he knows what to do with stuff. Boogie is like um Boogie is like the Undertaker.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
don't know what
saying
that means.
Boggy handles the dead of your people?
Yeah, Boogie handles the dead, alright. That's yep.
That's putting it mildly. So the sheriff just raises another eyebrow and goes, very well. Tell your friend Boggy, if you are able to see him, that his... Oh wow, what the fuck, Internet? You were so good up until this point. Alright, give it a minute. There we go. We're back.
Okay.
Tell your friend that the corpse of your burnt goblin will be enshrouded and await his rites of burial as soon as he is able to answer questions. In the meantime, the corpse will be stored here in the garrison until he is able to check in with me and provide his perspective of events.
Okay.
For the time being, please inform your friend Boggy that the town guard are looking for him and have orders to arrest him and bring him here should they find him, so it would be best to his benefit if he is brought here sooner than later.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, Boogie very
okay.
skittish.
Sorry, what did Desi say?
Boogie is very skittish.
From what my guards told me, that tracks. So if he is a little overwhelmed by the process, then please try your best to convince him that it is in his best interest to report to me directly before any unfortunate occurrences befall him.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
In the meantime, Denise... Yes, Sheriff? I entrust you as guardian of these three while they are in town. I am going to assume that you are prepared to assume the role of ambassador to these creatures as they spend time in our home. I can do that. Yes, absolutely. I'll happily keep an eye on them. Good. If anything goes wrong with them, or I hear any unpleasantness as a result of their time here in town, I will ask you directly, and you will assume all responsibility for them until they are found. Is that understood? Absolutely, Sheriff. Good. Well, in that case, the only things that I have left to say are, one, the island that you have traveled to and reportedly witnessed the ghost of Jervis Stute occupying. You are never to return there again, and never speak of your experience on the island. I will seek out professionals who have an expertise capable of dealing with this creature. But I want your assurances that none of you will return to that island.
Yeah, I don't want
We
to go
won't
back there. No.
return, but I do want to let you know the ghost really liked Denise.
Yeah, that was actually really creepy. It was sort of like Gem, but not adorable.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Thank you for the gift sub to Unsolicited Duck Pic. It's a pretty solid name. She nods and she says, trust me, I wouldn't go anywhere near that island again for all the gold in this town. And the sheriff nods and he says, I must warn you, there are a fair number of individuals in this town who will not have a favorable reaction to your presence here. I am tentatively permitting you to wander Sandpoint. This is a new era, and it has been some time since we have seen invasions from goblin tribes. I, for one, am not opposed to reaching a better understanding with the goblin villages around us, and if, although it seems too good to be true, the three of you represent a kinder, more civilized version of your people, then I begrudgingly permit you open access to wander about the town of Sandpoint, provided that you do not violate any of our laws. And I wish the three of you, when it is convenient to you, to speak to the mayor about your current predicament, so that she knows that you are permitted here in the city by my request, and that you are going to be able to tell her yourselves why you should be allowed to remain in Sandpoint, because until that context is established, there is a good chance that there will be a growing discontent with your presence here, and I assume no responsibility for any actions taken against you simply for being goblins. Is that understood?
Yeah, that's understood. I, I do have one question, and I hope that this does not make you worry. Do you have a list of your laws? Because
A list?
that's kind of vague. Yeah, like, what if it's illegal to have books or something?
He raises an eyebrow in your direction and looks at Denise and goes, Denise, you are also entrusted with educating these three, and if he is found the fourth member of this group, on our customs and traditions and what would constitute a violation of the law. Is that understood? And she nods and she says, I will happily teach them everything I can about our society. And she looks down at you fondly, ruffling your hair, Snooty, and holding Gem still in one arm. And she goes, I think I'm going to have a great time making sure that these little goblins find a home here.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
The
And
sheriff
thank
nods.
you, Sheriff Baylor, for not killing us.
He laughs a little bit under his breath. That's the most jovial you've ever heard him be. And he goes, I will caution you, though. I was informed that you were looking for Shalelu and Osana, the Elven Ranger.
The
Yeah.
enchilada.
Steer clear of her. I doubt she will be understanding of your situation. That woman has killed hundreds of goblins.
That's even more than what they said.
Oh, God.
That's even more.
What does she look like so we can avoid her extra hard?
He laughs. She's tall, elvish, with pointy ears, blonde hair, and blue eyes, and often carries a bow with her.
Okay. Alright, I guess that narrows it down. Okay, thank you.
The sheriff nods and he says, before I excuse you to wander about my town with mixed regrets on making this decision, are there any other questions that you require of me?
How much is it to buy you a new helmet that doesn't look like a penis?
Yeah, that... Sir, with all due respect, your helmet is not doing you any favors.
He narrows his eyes and he says, you may leave.
Okay. We'll find you one if we see one. Otherwise, thank you. Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye, yeah, bye, yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Alright. And as you excuse yourselves from the sheriff's office, Gem firmly asleep in Denise's grasp, and Boggy, so far as of yet unknown to his current location, I think now would be an absolutely perfect time for us to end tonight's session. And right at 5 a.m. on the dot. Hell yeah.
Hey.
Well done, goblins. Well done indeed. That was very impressive work. Let me go ahead and play our usual end of session outro music here. So, Well done, well done. Now, technically, by the end of the night, we were down 2 goblins, but for entirely reasonable reasons, and not of their own accord, causing their demise. So, congratulations, players. You survived your first experience with the jail within the garrison of Sandpoint. Will it be your last? Probably not, but we'll see. We'll see. For the time being, though, thank you, everybody, for joining us. It is a pleasure to have you all here who are still sticking around, and I'm going to go ahead and do once more the little advertisements. So if you guys enjoyed what you watched here tonight, please make sure you follow and engage with everybody on that list that I have provided for the links there. They are all major contributors to this project and are very hardworking, wonderful people that I love very much, so I would appreciate it if you could share the love. And if you want to watch our previous sessions, that YouTube link provided in chat there will direct you to where you can find those wonderful sessions that I have spoken of. So check out Effie the Cat's YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see when the backlog gets uploaded or any other wonderful highlights from her shenanigans. And then otherwise, the only other thing that I would just like to tell people is if you would like to continue to support our project, you can do so by supporting us during the broadcast by contributing to the Goblin Bullshit Pool with either donations or bits. All the money you put into this goes right back into the project. So it pays for the artwork that we get made, it pays for assets and additions to the project to enhance it, and it also helps me eat craft dinner so that I can survive long enough to get to the next session. So if you want to keep me swimming in that KD, that sweet, sweet yellow sustenance, then make sure that you are willing to contribute as long as it's within your means, because nobody should go broke for supporting us. But outside of all that, Effie, do you have any last things you would like to say to the wonderful folks who have spent time with us here this evening?
I really love it. Appreciate all you guys. I hope to see you guys again. And then just remember that everything except tonight's episode is on my YouTube. So if you're missing out and you want to know more of the story or just want to rewatch it, it's on there. And then hopefully we see you next week.
Yes, absolutely. I hope we do. And Desi, how did you enjoy tonight's session?
Fucking. All right. So first off, every session that we do turns out to be my favorite session. And this one is just my favorite session because, as somebody put it, was it actually jail time or was it just giving, Denise's sanity a break time? Who knows?
Did you go to Goblin Daycare or was it actually jail?
Yeah, it was a Goblin Daycare, but I think it was really exciting because even Alice is like, I'm pretty sure none of the shit that Desi talks about is true. And then there was confirmation because the sheriff was like, ah, yes, Tim Timidone, that motherfucker. Working at the Tim's Tail Timatome. And it was, that was good.
You can't tell me that he's related to Desi and her experiences with explosives and not expect me to make him like a bit of a bomber who has gotten known with a bad reputation. In terms of the context.
I want him to be like the mustache twirling freaking top hat and little half cape. I want him to be like a Hanna-Barbera fucking film. I just think I fucking love it. And just you do such a wonderful job just basically giving us the tools and you roll with our bullshit so well that I feel like you could put us in an empty room with one NPC, and at the end of the fucking session, we'd have 4 more NPCs, a dead horse, one party casualty that they caused by rolling on the goblin bullshit table, and then, we would have ended one bloodline and saved 10 others. I fucking love it. I just do.
I look forward to seeing how things develop in the town. I would ask Gem her opinion, but Alice has gone to bed for the night.
Oh, she's sleepy. My poor wife pulled a me and found out it's hard to live that life.
She did. She exerted herself real hard and streamed real hard and hasn't had a good night's rest in a bit, so she had to dip out because she was falling asleep in her chair. So we gave her a good out, which fits for her character because Gem does get insomnia quite often, or not insomnia, narcolepsy. She's a very narcoleptic goblin.
Yeah.
But before, also, Effie, if you could find us a raid target, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Or are you streaming after this? Sorry, I should ask.
No. I
Okay.
did a bunch of unpacking and stuff, and I'm gonna go hang out and do some things here. I need a little bit of break from unpacking and doing a bunch of other shit today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So-
be
those-
doing teacher mode after this. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yep, I get to go into VR and fuck around a little bit, minus the glass. So.
All right, cool. So
Aw, you're welcome, Critical.
why don't you find us a raid target? And while you do that, Snooty, how did you enjoy this session for the evening?
Again, as Effie says, every session becomes my favorite session as well. I have been enjoying this way too fucking much. Like, I get so excited for Goblin Game. Even if I forget what day it is, the day that like the moment I realize, I do a little bit of an Alice thing where I go, and I get really excited. So, this game has been seriously really fun, and I'm glad I was able to participate as well as help with the assets. So this was really great.
Of course, and I look forward to the shenanigans that we will tell far into the future, hopefully. And look forward, all of you at home, to soon we will be introducing guest goblins as well. So that is going to be a very amusing extra bit of chaos.
Which is a message that I have yet to send over because I keep forgetting.
Oh,
so thank you
sorry,
for
I have
reminding
all
me.
the details for that goblin that I can give you for sure. He already gave it
Oh,
to
okay,
me,
perfect.
So, yes, I have a couple of people who I have asked for details who I would love to invite, and then I would also like to get some other recommendations on that front. But for the time being, we're just going to do some test runs with how it works and how good the system can kind of bend to the extra goblin personality, I suppose. Hold on. Yep, we're good.
This is literally it.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, it doesn't last very long. Okay, we're back. But for the time being, yes, we won't have that probably until next month for the first guest that we have, because there's still some context to be established in the town itself before everyone is fully open to doing whatever the fuck they want. But don't worry, I am easily able to narratively insert each of our guests whenever it is relevant and for whatever time period they're able to give us, because some people probably won't be able to do the full session, and that is fine. Having temporary guests at the start would be doable as well, but I am hoping that most of our guests will be able to stay for the full session at least. But with that all said and done, thanks again, everybody, for being here. We love you very much, and thanks for the support so far. This has been a very amusing project, and I look forward to seeing what comes of it more. And as we start posting more snippets of this and little clips and stuff on social media, we would very much so appreciate it if you shared that around as hard as you can to show people the kind of shit we get up to here, because the larger the audience and the more support we get from you wonderful people out there, the more we can do and the cooler shit that we can provide for you. So just keep that in mind, that more engagement and more support will help make it even better and more enjoyable. So with all that said and done, Effie, who we gonna raid? Oh,
The stuff in July.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
I think your net died again. But yeah, you should tell him about the Wednesday thing.
Oh, yes. So, and you're cool with us just doing it on your channel, right, Effie?
Yeah, if that's what you want to do.
Okay, perfect. Well, in that case, a little announcement for everybody here. Starting in July, so with the 6th of... so 2 Wednesdays from now, or 3? 3 Wednesdays. On the 6th of July will be the first session of it, but we are going to be running a Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory to tabletop thing, much like you see here with Amz Goblinz. It'll be a little darker and a little grimmer, but no less goofy, I imagine, because everyone in the group can't help but be little goofballs, so it's going to be really amusing regardless. But if you guys like Warhammer 40k and the Warhammer universe in general, please make sure to tune in to those broadcasts, which we'll be doing earlier in the day for people who want to catch stuff that isn't quite so late at night on Effie's channel. But we'll be doing that on her channel here, this one you're watching on right now, starting on the 6th. So Wednesday the 6th, and every Wednesday going forward from that. So if you guys want to catch that, you can totally do so, and it'll be around probably 7 p.m. Mountain Time is when we will land on the final starting time for it, because that works best for everybody involved in that group. So, and if you guys are wondering why, part of why we do the time we have right now for this group, a lot of our people are night goblins, and also Alice lives in the UK. So this was kind of like a workable time that worked for everybody for their schedules. So, but with that said and done, anything else FEI should cover, or shall we go ahead and raid?
No, that should be fine. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to entertain you guys and be entertained in turn. And I love you guys.
All right. Then I will switch us over to the ending soon screen, and then eventually we will raid out to... Oh, you picked Seku Kitten. Cool. Then we will go ahead and say hi to her, and wish her a fine and solid evening. But for the time being, hey, 2 remaining goblins out of the 4, why don't you guys wish our lovely audience a good night, and then I'll switch over.
Good night.
Good night. Have a good night. See you later.
Good night, everybody. We love you.